What is the quickest and the slowest car from each manufacturer? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you. To do this, I'm going to rank every car brand according to the performance difference between their quickest and their slowest accelerating cars. The bigger the gap between their 0 to 62 mile an hour times, which is also their 0 to 100 kilometers an hour times, the higher up my list it goes. I'm only featuring cars you can actually buy, and each brand needs to sell at least 2 different models, excluding commercial vans, pickup trucks, or van-based MPVs. Let's get into this. All McLarens are quick, which is why this brand gets last place on my list. The slowest McLaren is the GTS, which takes 3.2 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour, whereas the new W1 hypercar manages it in 2.7 seconds. But that car is completely sold out. So you'll have to make do with the 750S, which does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.8 seconds. That's 0.4 of a second quicker than the GTS. It's a similar story with Ferrari. The F80 hypercar can apparently do 0 to 62 miles an hour in less than 2.2 seconds, but all 799 of them have been sold. What about the SF90? Well, that's been discontinued, which means the quickest Ferrari on sale is the new 296 Speciale. This lighter, more powerful version of the 296 can hit 62 miles an hour in 2.8 seconds. Ferrari's slowest car is the Roma Spider, which takes 0.6 seconds longer to reach 62 miles an hour at 3.2 seconds. 2 brands share the next spot on my list, and they couldn't be more different. They're Rolls-Royce and Ariel. The slowest Ariel is the Nomad, but it's still very rapid. It'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.4 seconds. The Hardcore Atom, which is even more bonkers, will hit that speed in 2.7 seconds. And like those stripped-out rockets, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan and Phantom come with Buckingham Palace levels of luxury and huge 6.75-litre twin-turbo V12s. These help them accelerate from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.2 seconds. That's quick, but it's still 0.7 seconds slower than the Ghost and Spectre that can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. Lamborghini's slowest car is the Urus S. This takes 3.5 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. Its quickest car is the new Rualto, which can do this in 2.5 seconds. Lamborghini has also been making tractors for years, but none of these can crack 62 miles an hour. However, Lamborghini does make another vehicle that can reach this speed. It's a 63-foot long 4,000 horsepower speedboat that can hit 70 miles an hour. It's also one of the rarest Lamborghinis ever because only 63 will be ever made. From one Italian brand to another, Arboth's quickest car, the 600e Scorpionissima, does 0 to 62 in 5.9 seconds. That's 1.1 seconds quicker than the standard Arboth 500e, which takes 7 seconds. Next up is Aston Martin. The Valkyrie hypercar is sold out, so it can't go on this list, but you can buy the Valhalla supercar, which can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds. Aston's slowest car is the DB12 Volante, which takes 3.7 seconds to reach the same speed. The slowest Lotus you can buy isn't exactly slow. The automatic Emira V6 takes 4.6 seconds to do 0 to 62 miles an hour. The Lotus Evija hypercar will crack the same sprint in less than 3 seconds, but once again, sold out. However, there is another Lotus with face-warping performance. The Emea 900 Sport only takes 2.8 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. That's 1.8 seconds quicker than the Emira. Next on my list is Bentley. Its quickest car is the new Continental GT Speed, which hits 62 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds. That's over 2 seconds quicker than the Bentayga V6 Hybrid, which needs 5.3 seconds to do that speed. Remember SsangYong? Well, they're now called KGM for some reason. And their quickest car is the electric Torres SUV, which hits 62 miles an hour in a rapid 8.1 seconds. KGM's slowest cars are the entry-level petrol-powered Torres and the Corando. These take 10.8 seconds to hit the same speed, which is 2.7 seconds longer. Next up is Morgan. Its quickest cars are the new Plus 6 and the Super Sport, which both use BMW B58 engines to hit 62 miles an hour in 4.3 seconds. Meanwhile, the crazy Morgan three-wheeler with its 1.5-litre 3-cylinder Ford unit will do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 7.1 seconds, which is 2.8 seconds slower. The quickest Maserati you can buy is not the MC20 supercar. It's actually the electric Folgore Gran Turismo, which does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.7 seconds. The brand's slowest car is a 2-litre Grecale GT. This takes 5.6 seconds to reach the target speed, which is 2.9 seconds longer. Smart only sells 2 cars in the UK at the moment. The quickest is the #3 Brabus and the slowest is the #1 Pro. These take 3.7 and 6.7 seconds respectively to reach 62 miles an hour. That's a difference of exactly 3 seconds. Mini's quickest car is the Countryman JCW, which can crack 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.4 seconds. That's 3.2 seconds quicker than Mini's slowest car, the electric Countryman E, which takes 8.6 seconds to do 0 to 62 miles an hour. The lightweight Alpine A110 is about to be replaced by a new EV, which could look something like these prototypes. But until then, the Hardcore R Turini version is the quickest Alpine on sale. It'll hit 62 miles an hour in 4 seconds dead. For comparison, GT versions of the A290, which is effectively Alpine's version of the new Renault 5 EV, take 7.4 seconds to do 0 to 62 miles an hour, which is 3.4 seconds slower. The brand with the next biggest performance gap is Seat. Its quickest car is the hybrid Leon, which does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 7.7 seconds. Its least sporty car is the 1-litre manual Arona, which takes 11.3 seconds, which is 3.6 seconds slower. Genesis sells 5 different cars in the United Kingdom, but its quickest and slowest models both come with a GV70 badge. 2.2-litre diesel versions take 7.9 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour, but electric versions with 490 horsepower cover the same sprint 3.7 seconds quicker in 4.2 seconds. Next up is Peugeot with a 3.8 second gap between its quickest and slowest cars. The slowest Peugeot on sale is the 1.2-litre hybrid 5008, which takes a leisurely 11.3 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. Meanwhile, the 1.6-litre plug-in hybrid 308 gets there in 7.5 seconds. Tesla's famous for many different things, but there's no arguing with how quick their cars are. Even the slowest Tesla product, the new Model Y Long Range, takes just 5.9 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. Despite this, the Model S Plaid is still 3.9 seconds quicker. It'll hit 62 miles an hour in 2 seconds dead, though I've never actually achieved that in that car. There's a 4-second gap between Polestar's quickest and slowest cars, which are the 4 long-range dual-motor and the 3 long-range single-motor. These cars will crack 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.8 and 7.8 seconds respectively, so a gap of 4 seconds exactly. The next brand on my list is Porsche, and there's a 4.2 second difference between the 2-litre Macan's 0 to 62 miles an hour time of 6.4 seconds and the Taycan Turbo GT's time of 2.2 seconds, although that only applies to top-spec cars with a lightweight Weissach pack. Just like Lamborghini, Porsche also sells boats. In this case, it's a 53 mile an hour electric speedboat that uses tech borrowed from the new Macan EV. Next up is Jeep. The 1.2-litre Avenger takes 10.6 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. This is 4.3 seconds longer than the Grand Cherokee plug-in hybrid, which manages it in 6.3 seconds. Well, I know what you're thinking, what about the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk? Well, that was discontinued last year. However, Jeep does share this spot on my list with another brand, Lexus. There's a 4.3 second difference between the quickest Lexus on sale, the RZ450e, and the slowest Lexus, which is the all-wheel drive LBX. They accelerate from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.3 seconds and 9.6 seconds respectively. Lexus is the third brand on my list that also sells boats, although the LY680 yacht is slower than the Porsche and Lambo speedboats because it tops out at just 49 miles an hour. The next brand to feature is Cupra, which actually sells more different models than its parent brand Seat. The quickest Cupras you can buy are 333 horsepower versions of the Formentor and the Leon Estate, which both hit 62 miles an hour in 4.8 seconds. That's 4.5 seconds quicker than the 1.5-litre Ateca and Terramur SUVs. Those take 9.3 seconds to do the sprint. Two brands share the next place on my list, Vauxhall and Citroën. Not surprising really, as they are part of the Stellantis group and share many of their parts. Their quickest cars are both 1.6-litre plug-in hybrids, specifically the Astra GSE and the C5X. They take 7.5 and 7.9 seconds respectively to reach 62 miles an hour. At the other end of the spectrum is the electric Frontera SUV, which takes 12.1 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. And if you thought that was slow, then what about the entry-level C3, which takes 12.5 seconds? And this means that both brands have a performance gap of 4.6 seconds. Now, before you mention, what about the Citroën Ami? Well, it's not included in this list because it can't reach 62 miles an hour, no matter how long you wait. Even on a steep slope, its top speed is limited to 28 miles an hour. There's a 5-second difference between the 0 to 62 mile an hour times of Volvo's quickest and slowest cars, the twin-motor EX30 and the entry-level XC40. These take 3.6 and 8.6 seconds to hit the magic number, respectively. However, Volvo's slowest vehicle is the giant 90-ton excavator. Sure, it only has a top speed of 2.5 miles an hour, but it can lift 34 tons, or about 20 XC40s. Next up is Alfa Romeo, which still makes the magnificent but slightly flawed Giulia Quadrifoglio. This twin-turbo V6 super saloon takes 3.9 seconds to accelerate from 0 to 62 miles an hour. That's 5.1 seconds quicker than the 156 horsepower Junior electric SUV, which does the sprint in 9 seconds. Subaru has a history littered with big wings, and I'm not just talking about the Impreza rally car. It also makes wing sections for several Boeing airliners and helicopters used by the Japanese military and Coast Guard. But Subaru's quickest car is the dual-motor Solterra, which accelerates from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6.9 seconds. The slowest Subaru you can buy is the new 2-litre Forester, which takes 5.3 seconds longer to reach 62 miles an hour. Interestingly, that's exactly the same as the difference between the quickest and slowest cars made by DS, Fiat and Honda. And here's how all those models compare side by side. Unsurprisingly, the Civic Type R is the quickest overall. It does 0 to 62 in 5.4 seconds, but it's definitely not the fastest thing Honda makes. I'm not talking about motorcycles either, because they are very quick. I'm talking about the Honda Jet. This private plane can carry up to 5 people at more than 480 miles an hour, but it costs about £4.5 million. Ford's quickest cars are both Mustangs. The UK spec V8 Dark Horse automatic with 453 horsepower can hit 62 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds. That's exactly the same time as the 487 horsepower Mustang Mach-E GT. Ford's slowest car is the 1-litre Focus EcoBoost, which takes 10.2 seconds to hit 62, which is 5.8 seconds slower. BMW's quickest and slowest cars both have Gran in their name. The 1.5-litre manual 2 Series Gran Coupe takes 9.2 seconds to hit 62, but the M8 Competition Coupe and Gran Coupe crack it in just 3.2 seconds. That's a 6-second difference. Mazda takes 14th spot on the list. Its slowest car is the 90 horsepower Mazda 2, which takes a lengthy 12.1 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. The quickest Mazda you can buy isn't the MX-5, it's the plug-in hybrid CX-60 with 327 horsepower. They'll hit the same speed in just 5.8 seconds. That's 6.3 seconds quicker than the Mazda 2. MG's slowest car is the HS, which takes 9.6 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. That's not exactly thrilling, but MG's quickest car is much more exciting. It's the new 500 horsepower Cyberster EV. It's one of the few electric convertibles on sale, and it's rapid. It'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds, which is 6.4 seconds quicker than the HS. Showing 13th place with MG is Land Rover. Its quickest car is the Range Rover Sport SV V8, which cracks 62 miles an hour in 3.8 seconds. Meanwhile, a Discovery Sport 2-litre diesel takes 6.4 seconds longer to reach the same speed because its 0 to 62 mile an hour time is 10.2 seconds. After 18 years, the era-defining Nissan GT-R R35 has just gone off sale. Let's have a moment of silence in respect, please. This means the quickest Nissan you can buy is actually the Ariya Nismo, which does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5 seconds. Nissan's slowest car is the 1-litre Duke. It takes 11.8 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour, which is a difference of 6.8 seconds. Mercedes' least sprightly vehicle is the 1.3-litre GLA 180, which takes 10 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. Well, if you ignore their commercial lorries, they're limited to 56 miles an hour. The quickest Mercedes on sale isn't the AMG one because that's completely sold out. It's the hybrid AMG GT63 SE Performance. This has 816 horsepower and takes just 2.8 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. That's 7.2 seconds quicker than the GLA. Suzuki only sells 6 different models in the UK compared to Mercedes' 26, but it has an even bigger performance spread. The slowest Suzuki you can buy is the 4x4 Swift. It takes 13.6 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. That's even slower than a Jimny. The quickest Suzuki on sale is technically a Toyota. It's the Across, which has the same chassis and engine as the most powerful Toyota RAV4. It does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6 seconds flat, which is 7.6 seconds quicker than the Swift. Besides cars, the fastest thing Suzuki makes is the Hayabusa Superbike, and here's how it compares to a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ in a drag race. I've got absolutely smashed. You can't buy a Renault Sport Megane anymore, and the hottest version of the Renault 5 is actually badged an Alpine. This means the quickest Renault currently on sale is the Raphael plug-in hybrid SUV. This does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6.4 seconds. Renault's slowest car is the 1-litre manual Captur, which takes 14.3 seconds and is so far the slowest car on this list, and also 8 seconds slower than the Raphael. BYD stands for Build Your Dreams, but you should be careful not to nod off in the BYD Dolphin, as that car takes a leisurely 12.3 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. That's much quicker than some of BYD's other products, including buses and forklift trucks, but it is 8.5 seconds slower than the BYD Seal. This manages the same sprint in 3.8 seconds. Audi sells 22 different models in the UK, the quickest of which is the RS e-tron Performance, which accelerates from 0 to 62 miles an hour in just 2.5 seconds. That's 9 seconds quicker than Audi's slowest car, the 95 horsepower 1 litre A1. That takes a sedate 11.5 seconds to reach the same speed. Skoda's slowest accelerating car is the 80 horsepower Fabia, which takes 15.7 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. That's pretty slow. But it's not too bad when you consider that it's one of the few new cars you can buy in the UK that costs less than £20,000. Skoda's quickest cars are the Octavia VRS and Kodiaq VRS, which both accelerate from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6.4 seconds. That's 9.3 seconds quicker than the most basic Fabia. Dacia makes some of the most practical, affordable cars on sale, but none of them are particularly quick. Dacia's entry-level spring car takes 19.1 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour, while the 1.8-litre Bigster Hybrid manages the same sprint in 9.7 seconds. That's a 9.4 second difference. Toyota sold more than 10 million cars in 2024, and it currently sells around 60 different models globally. However, since the Supra was discontinued in the UK, the largest performance gap we can find is between the GR Yaris and the Aygo X. The latest rally-proven Yaris hits 62 miles an hour in 5.2 seconds, which is 9.7 quicker than the manual Aygo X, which takes 14.9 seconds. However, both these cars are much quicker than some of Toyota's other products, including boats, forklift trucks, and buses. When I made a similar video to this a few years ago, Volkswagen ranked number 1, but since then it's fallen to 3rd place, mainly because the cheap but very slow Up has gone off sale. Now the slowest Volkswagen you can buy is the 80 horsepower 1 litre Polo, which takes 15.6 seconds to reach 62 miles an hour. That's a whole 11 seconds slower than the latest VW Golf R, which does the same sprint in just 4.6 seconds. Kia sells 13 different models in the UK, ranging from the 62 horsepower automatic Picanto, which does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 18.2 seconds, to the 577 horsepower EV6 GT. This bonkers dual motor family car blasts from 0 to 62 miles an hour in just 3.5 seconds, and it even has a drift mode. The result is a huge 14.7 second difference between Kia's quickest and slowest cars. But the Picanto isn't the slowest vehicle Kia makes. Check out these Kia armoured trucks. These top out at 65 miles an hour, and you can spec it with anything from an ambulance body to a rocket launch platform. Crazy. And now we come to the number 1 spot on the list, and the car maker with the biggest performance difference is Hyundai. Its slowest car is the 63 horsepower 1 litre automatic i10. This is based on the same platform as the Kia Picanto, but it's even slower. 0 to 62 miles an hour takes a yawn-inducing 18.4 seconds. That's a massive 15 seconds slower than the Ioniq 5N, which can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in just 3.4 seconds. That's in the same league as many supercars, including this Lamborghini Aventador SV. However, Hyundai is a huge company with loads of engineering divisions. Hyundai Heavy Industries makes some of the largest oil tankers and military ships in the world. It also builds the HX1000AL, which is a 100-ton mining excavator. Despite having a 603 horsepower diesel engine, its top speed is less than 3 miles an hour. But the most impressive thing Hyundai makes is the HEMU 430X high-speed train. This is designed to travel at more than 260 miles an hour, so it's as fast as a Bugatti Chiron.